And good afternoon. I'm Tracy Sinclair here at Alaska's News Source, and we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, space, skywatching, and, of course, the Aurora. We had some amazing Aurora. I'm still looking for some of those photos from you here in Alaska. Let's get them. Send them to alaskasnewssource.com. We definitely don't want to miss out on any of the amazing Aurora that we have up here. But before we get to that, we are going to talk about something that hasn't happened in more than 50 years for the United States. The United States is headed back to the moon, not with people, that's a couple years away, but with a lunar lander. Its name is Odie. Officially, it's Odysseus, but they always give it really great names. The lunar landing, or the lunar module has already lifted off. This was as of yesterday morning.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go SpaceX, go IM-1 and the Odysseus lunar lander.
So Odie lifted off atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket at about 1 in the morning Thursday, that's Eastern time, from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. NASA's really ramping up their development of robotic spacecraft. They're doing it with private partners. They're really trying to evaluate the lunar surface and identify some key resources like the presence of water. They are attempting to put astronauts back on the moon, but probably not until later in this decade. About 2026, 27 is what they're looking at. Odie's path has been called, and I love this, a high-energy fastball pitch toward the moon. So after they lifted off, after burning off its fuel, the rocket detached from Odie, and it lets the lunar lander fly solo through space. Is also very cool. The technology is just amazing. The robotic explorer consulted an onboard map of the stars so that it could orient itself in space and turn its solar panels to the sun so it can charge the batteries. Now, Odysseus, or Odie, is in an oval-shaped orbit around the Earth, stretching out about as far as 236,000 miles from Earth. The moon is about 250,000 miles away from Earth. So it's expected to kind of grab Odie, a gentle gravitational pull, and bring the spacecraft back into its atmosphere, and it's going to pull the vehicle toward the moon. It's slated for a landing next Thursday, and it is kind of a nail-biting little thing. Many have failed in the last number of years. So far, in the 21st century, the only countries that have soft-landed vehicles on the moon, China, India, and Japan. And as I said, it's really sort of a scouting mission ahead of NASA's trying to put a crewed mission on the moon, once again, probably in late 2026. That is the goal. The moon's south pole is the target for this, and what they're looking for is water, ice water, actually water ice, and with the possibility that it could be melted for drinking water or possibly rocket fuel as a launch pad heading into deeper exploration in space. Now, obviously, I'm very excited about this. I think this is really a lot of fun. Later in this year, they're going to send an actual lunar rover that's going to spend 100 days on the Earth. NASA is fabulous with its names, absolutely fabulous. This one is called Viper, and it stands for Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration Rover, Viper. And it is going to leave later in this year. What you can do, though, is you can get your name on Viper. I'm definitely going to do this. I looked up the website already. You can go to nasa.gov/send-your-name-with-Viper, and you will get the chance to put your name on the spacecraft that is going to the moon on the lunar landing. I think that's really fabulous. Of course, we can't just spend time talking about space. We got to talk about some of the amazing things going on in our atmosphere right around us. When we had that really cold weather just a couple of weeks ago, we got a lot of photos of some very cool sundogs. We saw a lot of them here in the south central area, here in the Anchorage area. So I'm going to show off a couple of these sundogs. So you can see Rod didn't give us any more information about his name, but this is Rod. Beautiful view, not only of a sundog, but you get all the other arcs. This is one of those images that really gives you the variety of arcs. Sundogs are formed when light passes through hexagonal plate crystals of ice and they're suspended in cirrus or stratocirrus clouds. So basically what you've got is you've got the ice crystals, they orient themselves horizontally, rays of sunlight come in one angle, and then they go out another one, and that angle turns out to be 66 degrees. When you kind of combine the two together, you get a 22-degree light. It's basically, you're seeing those two little false suns. And I thought this was really cool because the R. Lolly Moro sent us this one, obviously here in the Anchorage area, but one of the sundog sides is actually on a building, so it looks like it's coming from the building. So thank you so much for sending that. These people got us their photos by going to alaskasnewssource.com and providing these pictures, and we love it. Chris O'Brien, also another really cool image of a sundog here in the South Central area. The name sundog is believed to date back to Greek mythology, although there isn't a really definitive origin of the name. It may reflect the belief that Zeus, the father of all gods, I'm trying to change pictures while I look down as well, so we'll make a quick swap. There's Jeff Doerr's photo from there. That is just lovely as well. That Zeus, the father of all gods and the god of the sky in Greek mythology, walked his dogs through the sky, and they often appeared as companions to the sun or false suns. So that's a possibility of where the name came from. Of course, we can't get out of a skywatch without showing a couple of the aurora photos. I've checked out the aurora forecast. It's not really very strong for the next couple of days. We're still seeing some pretty low auroral activity. Doesn't mean there won't be any, particularly in the far north if you get some clear skies. But Ryan Ikea, frequent contributor. Thank you so much, Ryan, for sending us that really amazing photo of the aurora. And one more really cool shot as well. This one, Chris Hart sent to us on Valentine's Day, which seemed kind of appropriate because you kind of can see a little red heart inside that blast of the aurora. So really very cool photos. Again, not a huge chance to see the aurora in the next few days. We're expecting more mild aurora. We did get a burst just a couple of days ago, so kind of be prepared for that. And if you are out at night, really the only planet that's in the night sky right now is Jupiter. So if you look toward the moon, very close to the moon, you're going to see a really bright light. That will likely be Jupiter. Most of the other planets are not really visible in Alaska right now, but that will change very rapidly. Toward the end of the month, we start to see some morning planets coming up, and Venus is kind of out of our field of view for probably another couple months. We won't see that coming back into the area until July. So thank you so much for joining us here on this Skywatch Alaska. Look for us to follow this lunar landing coming up next Thursday. Odie is going to be attempting to make a land on the moon. I'm very excited about that. And then, as I said, if you get the chance, go to nasa.gov/send your name with Viper, and you can get your name put on the lunar rover that is expected to spend 100 days on the moon. Probably not going up until later this year. So very cool. A lot of adventures in the sky. Keep looking up, and thank you so much for joining us here on Skywatch Alaska.